Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Backlog Podcast, where I, your host Tenzing, bring forward individuals from different professions and lifestyle to share their experiences and ideas so as to inspire and wring every drop of potential from yourself. My next guest today is none other than my dear friend Aashwin Pradhan, who is a local entrepreneur in Darjeeling and is the founder of Going Homestage and Longta production. Hope you enjoy this podcast and make sure to like and subscribe.
So, anyway, thank you so much for being here, Ashwin. Long time no see.
Okay, thank you for inviting Sanjay.
First of all, we'll just go over um, after we finished school, no? Like in 2012 when we first gave our ISC. Like, what was your feeling during that period of time? Because it was quite a huge moment for us, like completing school and like looking forward to what we should do into the real world. And like, what were your thoughts during that time? Because I mean, all of us were kind of confused, and at that point of time, we were like in the scarcity of information compared to what it is now. Because nowadays there's a lot of information and there's a lot of information overload. But at that point of time, we were quite like, what should we do next? What are the opportunities that are there for us? And like, how do we mold our values that we have learned in school to be a better individual that we aim to be, you know? So
Mm.
what are your thoughts on that?
So during that time, one good thing has happened to me.
Mhm.
That time I was introduced to philosophy, as you know.
Yeah, that's true.
So I used to read a lot of philosophical books, and being a science student, I wanted to be a philosopher, and I even appreciated that book called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, and I was so much into that I called its author, and we made a Facebook page, and it ran in Facebook during that time. So basically, during that time, how I felt was like philosophy is like a tool in life, just like how carpenters they use all these hammer and saw and all to build a house.
Mm-hmm.
So likewise, we as a human also we require some of the tools that we require to build a good life. So philosophy, so we don't. I learned during those days that you don't have to be a philosopher or you don't have to go deep, but use those tools to like go forward in life. And that was my feeling during the time when I left school. And as you said, yeah, there was really a lack of information during that time, during 2012, and even now there is lack of information, especially in our schools in the hills. Why? Because I think personally we focus only on the ISC and ISC syllabus, and we cut out most of the sections which will be like important for the college. Like the section B of mathematics is totally cut off, which is like most important for the engineering students. And like if we just compare in Siliguri, just go outside 80 kilometers from here, then you see that all the students they know about higher education, what to do from class 8 onwards. But I was the one who heard IIT. There was like IIT exams and AIEEE exams in my class 11 and 12. So it's pretty late to prepare also, no, during those times.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we need to bring a lot like sense, like awareness, and there's this dogma also of the parents that one has to be a engineer or a doctor or a lawyer from a family. So
Oh,
it's respectable for the family and the society. So I wanted to be a philosopher at that time,
so
and I
like,
remember.
yeah, I mean,
Oh,
concerning the philosophy that you're talking about before, I mean, I remember the page was called Thoughts and Action or something like that, right? What
yes,
was the page called?
yeah,
Thoughts and Actions,
it
right?
was called
Is that what it was
Thoughts and
called?
Action. in Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, obviously, we were studying together for our board exams, and I remember you introducing me to the world of secret and the law of attraction at that point of time. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, philosophy is important in
Yeah.
like shaping our values and stuff like that. But then sometimes it's really broad, no? And when things are broad, it becomes too simplistic and hard to really. I mean, it's easy to relate because there are always some point of view that we can narrow it down to. However, like when you go into the specifics, we kind of get like what exactly is happiness or what exactly is life. When you go into the specifics, it doesn't really make sense at that point of time, I felt. And like, yeah, and second of all, like speaking of what you just said, like section B in mathematics, I remember section B was mostly like vectors and probability, higher probability, I guess. And
Yeah. What we
yeah,
required in.
yeah, I remember that clearly, like missing out those and like focusing mainly on section C, which was mostly into like it was mostly
Statistics.
like for like commercial students, like I mean not commercial, sorry, yeah, for students in like commerce stream and stuff like that. Yeah, and yeah, that too like affected me while I was actually studying for my engineering, because I mean having no idea about those concrete engineering foundation skills like really impacted me a lot during my course, because I remember like when I was first studying like for my maths test, and then I had no idea. I just had idea about like differentiation, integration, and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but like the concrete mathematics was not there. And so like I really had to, I mean, shape all of that. I got a back paper as well during that time, no, and then like
Yeah.
I had to come up with all that. But yeah, I mean, like that was a really, I mean, I, what do you think? Like, how do you think, like, um, after that, okay, just, I mean, what do you think, like, mattered most during that time for us to, like, go towards engineering? For, because, like, both of us, we went into engineering. Like, what
Yeah.
was your thinking behind going towards engineering at that point of time? Because for me, it
Okay.
was like, okay, for me, the first reason why I took science stream, because I was always like, oh, from science, I can always drop down to arts or commerce if I really wanted to, because that's my point of view. And like, okay, from engineering as well, even if I like get into engineering and if I get into one of the top colleges, first of all, like everyone, I will be happy and I'll make everyone happy as well. And
Yeah.
second of all, like I can, even if I want to drop down into any other stream that interest me later, I can do that. However, from like the other way around, you can't really do that in India. So
Mm.
like what was your thinking into going to like engineering?
So during that time, as I said, like engineering, being an engineer or a doctor, it's like high class for the society, and you get respect. And whenever like parents also they talk about being an engineer, it's like a proud moment. But out here in India, what we see is like there are only students are preparing mostly for engineering, doctor, and now I think it has lost its value, and there are lots of unconventional career options,
Mm.
like social blogging is one of them, like media is one of them, and likewise during that time what I felt was like teachers were very good, like Sir Rupen Lama used teachers mathematics, but
Yeah, all
because of the
I mean like all the teachers were like really good, like or
we were
because
like
they were
very
like
privileged.
family itself, and they always treated us like family, and they always like helped us in whatever we needed. But
But
then like
the system was a little bit uh,
flawed, yeah.
fraud and like out of way. But now I think we have a better way of education because of the COVID-19 situation. Even in India, we can a science student can choose a history subject, and you can combine in subjects even in the schools.
Oh
So
really?
I think yeah,
That option is there nowadays, even in
that
class
option,
12.
yeah, in class 12. So
Oh,
there
that's
is a
good. Yeah.
combination choosing of like uh, different subjects. You can be a mathematician, and if you are interested in archaeology and history, you can take history. So you can choose all those things. I think the Indian system was like really old
like
which
very
is
traditional and like yeah, I mean that is one of the most disadvantage that we have, but I feel like one great like uh but again there's always a positive side to that as well, because like
yeah,
previously we studied everything and that kind of like helped us like later in life also. For instance, like it gave us a broader sense of knowledge into different like categories of um, domains, right?
okay,
And second of all, like I mean geography the only point where geography really like helped me was like recently during the COVID, we were having a lot of quiz, like
okay,
online quiz and stuff like that, and we used to play with our friends and stuff. And yeah, I mean like I did pretty well most of the time, so that was the only time where it really helped me. But
yeah.
yeah, I feel like when things get harder in life when you're young, no, later like if it's something that you are interested, I mean later if there's something where like you're interested in and you have to hard work in that, I mean
Mm.
it's way easier to go in that like particular like progression. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's good. So how was
So
engineering like for you, eh?
I still remember three of us going to Akash Institute for the crash course in Siliguri.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
man. I told last time I told Namka about that also. About like
okay, you me, and Swarnim going in to like Akash Institute, and somehow I used to score good marks in the 10 Rongo, and you guys like you didn't score good enough, But
Mhm.
I remember your comment that time. Oh, I'm ST, so I'll easily win you with these marks.
No, I mean because at that point of time, no, when we came down to Siliguri to like study for our I mean like for our engineering exams, I remember like some
During
of the students
that
who were
time,
already
I
there who were
didn't
studying
understand
for like
Akash.
what?
During that time, like I could not understand anything in Akash. Maybe the pace was different.
No, it's
Maybe
because
it was
like
like
it's
new
because
and
like the students in the planes, no, have always been like studying that for like 2 to 3 years, and then like at the end they do like a brief 1 month study, which is like mainly their revision and stuff like that. And we were put into that particular category of like 1 month. What is that course called? Like short course. What's it called?
crash course.
Crash
Crash
course,
course.
exactly. Yeah, crash course. And then while you were in the, I mean, that was my experience. So while I was in the crash course, I didn't understand most of the things that they were talking about. So it kind of like
Yeah.
demotivated me. And second of all, I could see people who were studying for these exams for like 3 to 4 years. So my
Yeah.
only option that I had was like when I talked to Namka, I was talking about the same thing. The only option
Mm.
that I had was like I'm ST, so I have to like there was negative marking, so I can't like really give any negative like wrong answers. So my only option is to like give less like right
Yeah.
answers and like just back on that and see what happens. And thankfully that
And
worked for me.
that system of AI triple E, like WJE, is also gone right now. Only one exam is there for the engineering students.
Mm. But I
Lot
mean,
of things.
a lot of changes have come about, that means in the Indian education system, and that is kind of like good, I guess. But let's see. I don't really have any idea about what
Okay.
exams and what they actually study for exams nowadays.
Mm.
Mm. So what was your like engineering like experience like in Manipal
So,
University?
in engineering, I took up electronics and communication because it dealt with frequencies and energies, and we had to deal with Fourier series, Laplace, which dealt with mathematics, basically in the frequency domain. And I really love the concept of quantum mechanics and how the satellite communicated with the transponder, and that was like one of the good experience. And by the end of 4 years in engineering, what I felt was like like companies came for placement and all,
Mhm.
and I was like really honest, really honest. I want to be honest about it. Like I was like, I'm not like studying for a job or I want a job. I was studying for some knowledge so that I can grow by myself, So
Mhm.
that was my criteria. So I neglected the placement things in our school, and I came back to Darjeeling, and slowly and steadily I started my own creative company. And during the college days, I used to do like a lot of editing, a lot of videos, a lot of photographies. I was always keen in shooting, I used to have one bag, and inside that there used to be a DSLR, the Canon 700D with two lenses, the kit lenses and the zoom lenses, and I used to carry it every day. I used to find new perspective, new angles, and I always loved how travelers traveled around the world, and how they took photographs and how they appreciated life. Like even if you do not have any wealth or any big dreams, but still you can live in that happy moment. So that caught me also. And during that time, we had a huge earthquake in Nepal, and Sikkim and Darjeeling side was really affected. It was around 7.7 Richter scale, and that hit me also deep inside. That who knows tomorrow? Like you may not be there, or I may not be there.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we should live in the moment, and whatever we have in life, we should live um,
Oh,
like there's no regret
that's
or something, no?
yeah,
So
because
that's
like
how I got my courage to follow my own path and
mhm.
to do it accordingly. And I'm grateful enough that it's happening in a good way, and still I'm working for
Towards
every
yeah.
horizon, like to conquer every horizon.
Mhm.
So yeah, you continue.
Oh, that's good, man. Like, because I mean, like, yeah, always I knew you as a person, but I never really understood what actually triggered that creative side, what made you go towards that particular field? Because a lot of people are obviously like scared if they really want to try something that's new and something that they really want like to like go forward with. Like for me, in the same, like it was actually the same scenario for me as well. Like for me, like the COVID situation right now really made me think a lot because first of all, we were at home. I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing much to do, so you are with yourself. You kind of are reading a lot of books and like kind of contemplating your thoughts. And then, like, yeah, obviously the loss of a lot of people, and I mean, we lost a friend, a batchmate as well, and like it really triggered my emotions towards what I was really working. And so, like initially, I had the idea of actually pursuing higher studies after my master's as well, but then I like I really wanted to uh, make an impact, like I mean, in a small way, in the way that I'm trying to uh, give back to society. So that's exactly why I've started to like slowly one of the um, one of the way like I want to give back to society is by doing this small channel, which I mean
Mm. Very
the
nice.
goal is actually to inspire like
Mhm.
every individual who's coming up from our same like traditional roots, right?
And
And
it's
like
like really we can reflect back on life,
we can reflect back on life, and thankfully for us, like we have this option to do this. And we being like from a society which who are like always happy and like I mean, we don't really need a lot of things. Like we can just be happy with what we have. And like obviously like we do have opportunities here. Like for me, I have opportunities here, and so I want to use those opportunities to like also inspire people who are coming forward, right? So that's what like molded me
Very
to
nice.
move towards this particular journey.
Mhm.
But like let's see, man, it's just the starting right now, and it's inspiring to see you guys do
There is
what you
one.
do.
There is one quote. No, you just have to take the first step in faith, and the rest of the staircase will follow. So I'm glad that you took this first step, and whatever
Thanks, man. I mean, a lot
follow.
of the inspiration that I like, that has molded me to take this journey is obviously you, and there are so many other people as well. So yeah, I mean, do it. I mean, like, yeah.
Vice versa. Like I always look up to you, your
Mhm.
work and as an engineer and how hard you work.
Nah, I mean, it's just, I mean, once you know what you're striving for, no, I mean, there's nothing much to do than to work hard, man, I feel. And yeah, I mean, we aren't really those big anyone right now, but at
Yeah,
least we're working towards this and we're documenting the journey through this
yeah,
particular stairway, right?
yeah.
So
So
let's just see what happens. So like, yeah, I mean, after you finish engineering, you got into like photography and stuff like that. That's really interesting. And then, yeah, um, you started the wedding company. I realized I was just like going through your
Very-
Facebook. I was just going through your Facebook, and then I realized that in March 20, like 20, 26th of March 2017, you started this wedding company. And then like, yeah, you got more into like commercializing your photographs and stuff like that. And I remember you once telling me that you were actually like sending your photographs to like National Geography and stuff like that, and they were like actually
Yeah.
interested in working with you, and like even like DAR Studio and stuff. So like for people who are actually starting in the world of photography, like what would you tell them? Like how do you, like if someone wants to start photography just in the beginning, or like someone who's already a photographer and wants to like commercialize the business or anything, what would you tell them?
So I want to like tell you frankly that if you want to do it like 100% only, then go for photography,
Mm-hmm.
because uh, and what I feel is like uh, there are lots of updates about the technology. Like if I buy a camera today, maybe a Sony camera,
Mm-hmm.
uh, next year the higher version of that Sony camera will come, and the camera cost is around 2 lakhs
Mm-hmm.
rupees. Uh, so next year it'll again cost 2 lakhs rupees. So the budget is also like huge in that field, and there is like lenses and everything. But I don't really give so much importance to these materialistic things because we need to have that fire inside of us, and that fire should never be down, and we should keep ourselves motivated. Listen to motivational speakers, listen to podcasts, or otherwise read some motivational books and get some advice from the elders, and likewise you will follow. Good things will happen if you make good choices in your life. So what I feel is like, don't be afraid of materialistic things, because there are rental companies, they can borrow you the necessary gears you require with
But
lights.
are
Yeah.
there any like rental companies in like Darjeeling or like in somewhere there? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, in Siliguri, obviously, we can borrow the entire set of lens and the cameras, and if we have a used project, we can obviously borrow big cameras as well. But
From like
you
borrow
should,
from home though.
there are vendors,
Oh
there
really?
are
Okay.
vendors, and
So
they
so so for the viewers, anyone who's really interested in like starting photography and don't have the instruments to do so, please contact Aashwin Pradhan.
I'm
Yes.
not a broker also, but
Yeah, but
I
then
can.
you can like
Yeah.
get them in touch with whoever is like
So
lending
it's
them.
like in Darjeeling, the economy is also not that good, So 2 lakhs is a very huge amount for
Of
an
course, of
average
course.
person. It's a very huge amount. So if a student says I want to start photography, he has to think of buying the lens, the camera, the lights, and everything. It will cost around 10 lakhs. And
But like, isn't like I mean, I've like I was just going through one of the videos last time in masterclass. You know the masterclass, right? And
yeah,
then there was a
masterclass,
lady
yeah.
there who was like, "Oh, it really doesn't matter what the instruments are like. You just have to
Mhm.
use one camera and like use it
Yeah.
to such an extent that the photograph comes out the way you want it to, and then you just have to
But
keep working on it."
how the technology is evolving, no, it's crazy, because with an iPhone you can shoot a movie right now.
Mhm.
It has won lots of awards as well. The ones which are shot from iPhone, and mobile photography is also very good, and it can win cameras also. So what I want to tell youngsters is like, you don't have to be so fancy, and you don't have to like show off, you don't have to get like big cameras and all, but you just need to learn every day, learning by doing. And you just have to keep yourself motivated, and you just have to feel the process, and if you are really good at it, you enjoy it, you don't feel like work also. So that's how you grow. And in time, it'll take time, and patience is the key. And you have to be patient as well. In this case, sometimes if you are lucky, you can reach to your goal faster. Otherwise, it will take time. It all depends on life also. But one interesting thing about photography is like you get to know a lot of things about the world, a lot of ideas about the companies that you work in, a lot of documentary knowledge you can gather, and that is one of the key aspect that I like photography and videography. I like shooting high and lows. Like there is no particular rule. I follow the basic rules or like rule of thirds and everything, but there are no particular rules, I believe, because rules were also made by human beings. So if you can be creative and create your own angles, shoot high, shoot low, you can come up with your own unique style, so that's how you will make your uh, place in the world of photography or any videography. And
So
I believe that,
if someone is there and he's a good photographer, and then he has the photographs that he thinks can create a lot of value, so what would you suggest them to do? Like, because at the end of the
so
day, you
he it does not depend upon his value or his way of feel, it depends upon the client's view or the judge's view. So we
no,
have
I
to
mean,
work in that level.
yeah,
So
I
you
mean,
have
like,
to sort out like what is the objective, why am I shooting this, like you just don't go randomly and shoot, in a day. You
no, no,
work on
of course,
you research.
of course, no. What I'm trying to say is like, of course, like if you like, suppose there's someone who has done photography, like I mean, like in the sense that, of course, he's like, when he's going to like shoot photographs, he's not just going to like shoot them, no, out of the out of his head. Like he's going to obviously
Mm.
go through a lot of like courses and stuff like that that he's interested in, and obviously use those uh, like ideas and concepts that he has learned in his own photography. And
Yeah,
once he thinks that a particular photograph is like, really uh, like really, what do you say, what's the right word for it? I'm not getting the right word.
really nice, great. Yeah, this
I
is
mean,
it.
like something that is like really what he want, like I mean, like, what do you say, fuck, I mean, something that is like really connected to the theme that he creates, no?
Yeah.
So like, and then he puts that
So
theme in wordings or stuff like that, and then he just like, I'm sure there are like websites where they can just put out photographs and stuff like that, and people will be
yeah,
obviously.
there's a there is technology right now, and there is internet, and there is communication has developed.
Mhm.
So right now we should not have any excuse, because if you go 20, 30 years back, a photographer's work, if you shoot a photograph at Darjeeling, it stayed in Darjeeling only, it hardly used to go outside. The only process was through podcast or something like that. But now you have internet. If I post one photograph on my website, it is
I
going to
don't
be good.
think not podcast or magazines or
We get that thing in the studio, no? It's called postcard.
a postcard.
Yes,
Oh, I
postcard, yeah,
heard I heard podcast.
postcard.
That's why I was like,
Yeah,
what? Okay.
postcard.
Okay.
So that was the only way how photographs used to get all over the
Mm-hmm.
world, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how. But right now we have the power of technology. We have the power of communication. We can write emails. So we have to sharpen our communication skills as well. And this is in any field. Whether you study engineering, whether you study photographer, otherwise you are an entrepreneur. Like if your communication skill is not good, then you cannot reach to that level, or otherwise you cannot express yourself. And we should learn to like express ourselves to our best level, so
Mm-hmm.
that our best work is notified or we get appreciated. And the best feeling is like we should be satisfied with our work, and we should be content, and we should be happy.
Mm.
And that's how
So
we
okay, so
create
like
a healthy lifestyle as well.
mm-hmm. So that means like if someone wants to be a photographer, he needs to first be good in the skill set of photography. Second of all, he needs to communicate his skill set
No,
properly to
we
the
will need
audience.
to like enjoy the skills process of learning the skill set of
Yeah, yeah.
photography.
I mean, the process is always there. Obviously, you can't just like be like, I learned the skills that I
Mm.
needed to learn. I mean, it's always like developing, and
I
you
think
kind of
you have
always,
to
yeah.
be honest with yourself. It's not about the exams and all. You need to be honest with yourself and proceed in life in case of photography or in any other field.
No, I mean, like, I'm just giving like a, background layout as to what they can do so that they can just follow that pathway, and like, you know, it'll be easier for them to like communicate what they have actually clicked, first of all, right? And second of all, if they really want to connect with the audience, the only way of doing that nowadays is like by marketing. And
Yeah.
marketing is also like online, and like you said, everything is online nowadays, so you have to be able to do that. And I mean, there are certain ways of doing it. So yeah, I mean, what like, but for you, like, how did you do it when you were like coming up and you were actually trying to get
Started
your word out there?
projects from small projects. It always starts from small projects from college. I used to edit videos of the festive fest, so
Mhm,
college festival and the college work. I used
mhm,
to present my presentation in video format, and
mhm,
it used to be unique than others.
mhm,
So it started with small things, and later on, as you said, I started to wedding. I had that basic camera only, and through wedding, slowly I started Lungta, and
mhm.
Lungta is one of the
But
one of
like,
the
but but like considering what I felt like when you were coming up, like, yeah, obviously you were doing the wedding company, and like you were like shooting a lot of photographs for like different like weddings and like videos for different weddings, and that came out really well. And then suddenly for a middle
trying
for a
to.
certain period of time, you were like lost. You went, you had a new motorcycle, right? I mean, you had that.
Yeah,
Then you went to roam around all over India. I mean,
yeah, motorcycling
you
has
went to
always
yeah, you went to like 18,000 feet, and like, you know, you,
yeah.
I mean, you went for all those rides and you were really into that. And then suddenly, I think something triggered that Lungta, no? Something made you want to.
Yeah, see, what I feel about wedding photography in Darjeeling and all is like we are restricted to only one subject. We cannot increase our knowledge. So wedding photography is a business also, and people earn. There are lots of other photographers as well who work in wedding photography and all. But there is no such thing as learning. But I always wanted to gain knowledge from beginning itself,
Mhm,
and that's how I got into documentary. So I got a chance to work with the Land Rover official team from England, and also I got a chance to work with uh, South African team who came here and visited the uh, Kanchenjunga base camp at Coachella,
mhm,
and that things really opened my eye, and I wanted to like level up my thing, And Lungta now does documentaries from various countries, and we covered up like Darjeeling is very famous for tea, and lots of tea companies come in like Nestle and all, and we work together and form a documentary.
mhm.
And making a documentary, it's like very knowledgeable. You get to connect with people, you get to work hard, and हुन्छ ओके एडिट हुन्छ होइन
Editor was that. It's okay. So we were basically in like no like you're talking about like, yeah, obviously you're talking about like wedding photography and stuff like that, and how it like it constricts your knowledge towards um
yeah,
a particular
genre.
genre of photography. But like going back to what I was talking before, like during that time, no, you were actually like a lot into like motorcycle, and you were reading a lot of motorcycle diaries and stuff like that. And like suddenly something was there. I feel like something really triggered that, spark, and like the Longta was created, the idea of Longta was created, a logo of a
Yeah. So
horse with.
how the Lungta come up was how Lungta came up was uh, I just came back to home after like 1 month shooting in the base camp in the mountains, and we were about to like start a carnival in Darjeeling. It was called the Darjeeling World Cup Town, and there we were like selected to uh, like shoot the whole program, cover the whole program in a professional way. So we had to come up with a name. And during my time in the mountains, what my partner during that time was Pasang Chiring. He was a Tibetan as well, and we met a lot of Rinpoches, and we met a lot of people, and it was some type of blessing also to be there. And I came to know about Lungta in those mountains. So the flags, that blows in the wind, it's called Lungta in Tibetan. So if we want to describe it in Tibetan, Lung means the elements, the five elements: earth, air, water, fire, and ether. And Ta means horse in Tibetan. So the concept is our logo is a horse, with the five elements. And the concept is whenever this horse travels all over the world, whenever the wind blows, the it spreads positivity, and it spreads good news to all of the people. So that's how our concept build up. So our videos also, it promotes positivity, it promotes goodwill of the people, it promotes the good side of life, and that's how Lungta came up. And I had to come up with a name, official name. So during that time, I said, why not Lungta? So that's how Lungta came. So slowly we wanted a logo, and Norzim from Himalayan Nursery School, she designed our logo. And slowly we got introduced to new projects, we collabed with a lot of people, and that's how Lungta got established. And till now we are working on few projects, and recently uh, we are doing some local projects. I'm helping some schools uh, with their advertisement, and some tea companies with their advertisement. So that's about Lungta, and there are other ventures also that I've started, and you can ask me those questions as well.
Yeah, of course, like you have this company Longta, and then you are like videographing and photographing a lot of like documentaries, not just for the sake of money, but actually to bring happiness to
That's
people all around the world. Because
beauty.
a lot of people, like, especially for us when we are like all away or far away from home, we always go back and like find videos of Darjeeling and we just look at it, like, we just, like, when we were partying and stuff like that, we're just drinking and we're just looking at videos of Darjeeling. Oh, and then that's.
I remember in one of my projects also, you acted in the video.
Oh yeah,
It's
zero waste management. I just showed my friends about that video where, like, and I was like,
so it
oh
was under WWF, no?
yeah,
Worldwide.
it was sponsored by Worldwide, what, WWF, World Wildlife Federation, right?
Yeah, World Wildlife Federation.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So like talking about like going back to your company of Longta, and like suddenly you are actually like documenting everything, like, and like commercializing the business as well. And then suddenly what made you actually like, give back to society by like contributing to various orphanage, and like also like various like tea leaf foundations, the workers in the tea leaf foundations who were suffering for quite some time, right? You were trying to like share their experiences to the people so that they get to know how hard they work, and like how less they are paid for all the work that they do.
Yeah.
So, like looking back at all those experiences and talking to them, like what do you think, like we as individuals who are all over the world or like away from Darjeeling or maybe also in Darjeeling, what can we do to like help those people?
Like in Darjeeling, if we see it, I think Darjeeling is a huge place, you know. So if you travel from Dubai to New Delhi, it'll take you 4 or 5 hours. But if you see, Darjeeling is a very huge place, and if you want to travel to any of the rural areas, any of the Basti area, uh, so it takes you the same amount of time because of the road condition, because of the rural condition, you know. And so it's a very big place actually. And Darjeeling is divided into two sectors. One is urban and one is rural sector. Urban is like what you see from Batasia to Lebong, but there are other unexplored places. Like for me, I just visited this place called Pumung, Poomong, and it took us 4 to 5 hours to reach there because of the road condition. And what we found out there was people walk all the way to Darjeeling to go to a school, and the hardships, the amount of dedication that they do is like very respectful, as well as we as you and me, we should find it like privilege to be like sitting in a Zoom meeting. But for them to get the basic amenities, to get the basic ration, you know, it's very difficult for them. So I think Darjeeling is developing in the urban scale. Darjeeling has a lot of scope also. But if you look in the rural side of Darjeeling, it's getting neglected, and people are still people don't have the access of gas stove. So that was one of the story how I was connected to giving donations and all. See, and donations also I don't give, but what I do is I initiate the process, and people contribute to it. And it says like little drops of water make mighty ocean. So that's how we can help our society, you know. And it should come up with a positive thought first. And I believe that if we can give so much to others, multiples will come back to us through goodwills. We can build up contacts. We can actually help the people who are in need. And that is one of the main thing that we do. And every year we launch the calendar of Longta, and whatever profit we make, we give it to the orphanage there in Kripasaran Buddhist Mission, um, which is uh, which is like seen by Darjeeling Children Trust from London. And I'm in very good terms with the trustees of Darjeeling Children Trust, and they help in getting connected with the rural areas. And personally, I would like to like thank Darjeeling Children Trust, because they are the people who are like several kilometers away from Darjeeling, but still love Darjeeling. But out here, we see that people just talk in the urban areas, and they don't like really contribute to the rural areas. Maybe because it's like bhaihalcha attitude out there, no? And and I saw them. If the people from like thousands of kilometers away can contribute so much to Darjeeling, why not from here? And to contribute to them, even like $100 is like plenty. They can go to a school, and the $100 is like fees for the school in government schools. It's approximately 4,000 rupees, right? So it's the entire fees for the school. And I believe like Darjeeling is very huge, and there is the urban side of Darjeeling, there is the rural side of Darjeeling. Rural side needs to be pulled up, and there should be like unity in Darjeeling as well also. So we did one of them is like Longta project is like the calendar we make each year, and we give the donations to the orphanage. And the other which we did recently was NP for Hope, which you also participated.
Yeah, yeah.
NP for Hope, I thought of why not? We have so many batchmates like who are talented, who are good singers, and it was a chance for us to like communicate after almost 8 to 9 years. That's how NP for Hope took place. And during that time, Aashwin Pradhan was there, Chivam was there. They helped me, and guys also sent the video, and we could like contribute through music as well.
Yeah.
And
That was a really good initiative, actually, because, like, first of
and
all,
we
yeah,
collected about, after a month we collected about 1,11,200, and we distributed those to the organizations who were helping during the time of COVID-19. We divided those amount to three organizations: Mark, Mukban Kamsuru in Trust, and Darjeeling Initiative, who were really working hard. For them, the amount that they raised and the amount that we gave is little, but it actually helped so many families to get a gas cylinder, or to light the house, or to go to a school, or to even get a ration for a week. Uh, and during that time when COVID was peak in India, we did those things. And looking back at it, I really feel nice and really feel good uh, about the rural sector that we helped. And I would like to like personally thank all these NGOs and all these trusts who are working to build Darjeeling a better place. And if I only work, it will never happen. But we have to like get united and work for the better Darjeeling. That's what it's happening also in Darjeeling, and that's one of the factor. I'm here working with companies and like growing.
yeah. That's really cool, man. That's really motivating as well. I mean, I
Okay,
remember your
so
initiative to like participate in that song and like trying
mm,
to give back to society. That was a really good initiative because first of all, got to I got in touch with a lot of my batchmates after quite some time, and second of
yeah.
all, it was like also fun to do it. And
Mm,
like, yeah, of course, like giving back to society is in the manner that we can do. I mean,
mm,
obviously, some of them, I mean, they may have some problems or something like that. That's why they couldn't really contribute. But I'm sure, like, whatever came through and every small contributions, and even the video in itself was a great contribution
yeah.
in
we
motivating.
can we can be old, and when we are like 60 or 70 years old, we can show it to our grandparents.
Yeah,
That video
yeah, that's true because now
uh,
everything's on a
will
big
be
screen.
a remembrance as well for a positive cause. And the latest thing that we started was, it was last year. It's called Going Homestays.
Yeah, but like, just 1 second, like before going to going homestays, like again, I feel like for some reason I always feel like for you, whenever you start something new, you always go for a huge motorcycle ride. I saw before you're going homestays, I remember you going to all those South Indian places and like I think you went all over India, right?
No, I covered whole of South India in a motorcycle,
Mm-hmm.
especially Tamil Nadu area.
Oh. What made you go there in the first place, from all the way from northeastern?
So that time I wanted to research about going homestays. One of our founding partner, Aishwarya, was also there. So we had some time to discuss about our ideas, to make a logo, to uh, to draw in some people and to make a team. And we had some contacts out there also who like motivated us. Uh, and motorcycle has always been a part of my life. I feel at ease when I ride a motorcycle, and it gives me a sense of freedom as well, and it gives me a sense of happiness. I don't like going to parties or like drinking around, but going on a motorcycle, I feel some type of connection is there with nature itself. You know, the wind, the floor that we see in the ground, and the people that we meet, the community that we build, and it's really motivating to go to a motorcycle ride. Also, it depends upon person to person,
But
but
like, how did the idea of going homestay come about?
okay. So going homestays, I had this idea in my head. Like I always wanted to advertise the homestays because our generation, we are really good in technology. We can even open a Gmail account, which is at ease. But our parents, their age, their generation, they really require the technological help, even like simply opening a Gmail account. So that triggered me. There are lots of homestays in Darjeeling. If we see the homestay industry in Darjeeling, from Batasia to Lebong, which is about 10 kilometers wide, we have about 1,400 homestays in those areas only. Talking about the whole of Darjeeling, there are lots and lots of homestays because Darjeeling is a tourist area, tourist sector. The economy depends on the tourist. And even if each and everyone opens a homestay, Darjeeling will still have a good economy. And Darjeeling is really blessed with beautiful mountain at its backdrop, and Darjeeling is like really blessed with people from all from diverse field, and that's and it welcomes tourists in a warm and humble way. So going for the homestay owners, they can talk with the guests, they can like be good as a host, but what Darjeeling needs is the technological innovation, and that's how going on this was formed. So I delivered this idea to Namka. I said, yeah, it was on a motorcycle ride only. I went to Chitre during that time, and we were having a tea, and I just said, I have this idea. There are lots of homestays in Darjeeling. I will do the advertisement part. I will click all the photos. I will do the videography. I will do the content writing as well. And well, Namka, why don't you make a website and let's start. So that's how it began. And the first homestay that we got was near Mall Road, who registered, who is an associate of us, and who is an associated of us, and he what he did was he registered with us. So the I really love the concept of going homestays that we three sat down and formed, especially Aishwarya, me, and Namka. We all have equal shares on it. So Aishwarya handles the legal part of going homestays. I handle the media and the public sector of going homestays. Namka handles the website, and it's a good business for us as well as to boost our local economy for the homestays. And what we wanted to do was create a local economy. Our motive was that because
So,
because
okay. So, like, I mean, yeah, that's a really good idea, and I'm sure it has worked for you. I mean, and it's working for everyone who has who has like ties to your
yeah,
platform, right?
what we
And
do
like,
is like we don't charge them so much also, because to construct a homestay it'll take so much of money and effort also. and in Darjeeling the economy is also very down. So we give them a package, we give them website, we give them content writing, we give them photos, videos, we give them the correct location mapping, and we are tied up with so many local platform as well.
Mm-hmm.
uh, and and all this package also we give them in a low budget, and it's working for us also and it's working for them also, and we are really happy to contribute to the society as well. And we got felicitated, we were like given token of appreciation from various tourist sectors as well recently, because we were bringing in some change, technical change in Darjeeling, because due to COVID, Homestage has to form a website or an online connection, so it's promoting the Darjeeling economy in a good way.
So like when you first started that and you had the website and you had like everything in place, like but then like in terms of advertising, what was the first strategy that you went forward with? Like in terms of like advertising, because they are really like, did you start with an organic advertising strategy, or like, you know?
No, not organic. We prepared very much for advertising. We launched the company in March 2019, but we officially advertised in Instagram and Facebook in July 2019. So
That's good.
that that span of time, we designed everything. What should be the backdrop? What should be the color? What should be the Aishwarya is like very good in selecting, um and we selected the logos, we selected the meaning behind it, the philosophy behind it, and we gave time. It's like sharpening a pencil before writing a good essay, and we
No, but then
we planned a lot.
no, but then what I meant was like, how do you actually like, so you have to communicate that to a broader audience, especially like people who are not from like
Mm.
Darjeeling itself, because obviously
Through
people
through
people
technology, it has been possible because
or is it
uh,
mostly like Facebook and Instagram?
no, not Facebook. Yeah, Facebook and Instagram plays a very good role, but our target audience should be homestay owners and as well as tourists. So we are tied up with a lot of organizations all over India and all over the world who appreciates our work, and the tourists, they see our website, and our website is not just like you give 5 minutes of time and you just see the homestay and book it. You give time to it. You read about it. You just go and see the video. You just take the 360-degree tour of the homestay, and then you confirm with the homestay owner. And one of the best thing about our company that the homestay owners appreciate is that we don't take any commissions or we don't take any hidden fees. Whatever the information
No,
about the
I mean
homestay
like, yeah,
owners,
I mean,
we give it in the website, and they book the homestays directly to the guests.
uh,
Guests book them like directly to the homestay host. So
so has
there
there
is
been
no.
any like interactions during this COVID-19? Because like, I don't know, how's the situation back home like?
Yeah,
Like,
situation recently on World Tourism Day, that is on 27th, 27th, yeah, day before yesterday. We were called for a meeting by the.
Hey guys, unfortunately, there was some connection issue during this particular time, and so there was no other time to catch up and complete this particular podcast. But I'm really thankful that you've listened to the whole podcast, and yeah, I'll make sure that the next podcast is up to mark, up to your standards. And thank you so much for listening and tuning into the small, humble beginning that I have started. And yeah, I'm really shocked that you stayed for this long. But yeah, I'm really thankful. Thank you so much and have a great day.